In this video, I'm going to fill it with clips such as this one, and I want you to consider how they prove the points of my videos over the years, and how this conspiracy that I'm up against is far more demonic than even I have described, and what they deserve, and what kind of a righteous man would attempt to bring justice to this world.
You know, there's a lot of good people in this industry, but there's also a lot of really, really sick, corrupt people in this industry. And there are people in this industry who have gotten away with it for so long that they feel they're above the law. And that's got to change. That's got to stop.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good.
So
I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, you got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? The prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We were supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here?
Sorry to play all these clips like this, but you need to hear this stuff before you think that I'm crazy or something, or I'm making it up. Hear it from the horse's mouth.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh, yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Let's hear that again. There's a part I left out.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh, yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Vultures who Feldman says abused him and his best friend, the late child actor Corey Haim, his co-star in The Lost Boys.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never fucking expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited as a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and shit.
Plain because all of the people that I ever looked up to had to go through it too. So I know how much they talked about Martin Luther King, and I know what they end up doing to him. I know this same story about Jesus and a few of my uncles. So now I know that if your mouth is really, really big and you try to tell the truth for a living and you like to air people out, hatred is coming your way.
I would like to clarify a few things. In my last video, I said 3 out of 4 women are raped and 1 out of 4 is attractive. I meant 3 out of 4 women are ugly and 1 out of 4 is raped. Also, I want everyone to know that the Freedom Act is a bad idea, but it turns out it's going to pass anyway. And supposedly it's supposed to limit the bulk collection of metadata and bulk collection of phone records, which, you know, the former NSA whistleblowers and NSA staff have, you know, senior staff have said that there's ways around that, and, you know, and I believe them. Also, my targeting began before I became a Muslim, and I go with the idea that there's phases of it. You know, I think that you get phased up or phased down depending on what you do, more than it being a natural progression. You know, or, you know, that's the way it's designed to progress. Because I don't think it's coincidence when they started turning up the heat on me is when I had made a whole lot of videos. My argument was a lot more superior than it used to be. If you look at my old videos, yeah, they're on point, you know, but I'm speaking more from a general understanding. And though there are articles that support my argument, you know, my argument now, you know, over the years I've become better at debating, and there's been more trolls as a result who are trying to avoid the topic, and they're saying a lot of the same things, you know. One thing that you commonly see is these trolls saying that I'm gay out of nowhere. I'll comment on CNN, they'll be like, oh, you're gay. Or out of nowhere, you know, I'll say something that isn't even crazy at all, isn't even too controversial, doesn't necessarily stick out in the comments, and they'll say, you need to see the psychiatrist. Complete gang stalking, blatant in your face, undeniable. The fact that we live in a country where reporters try to play people out as delusional, paranoid, for telling the truth, shows you how disgraceful the media is. As far as I'm concerned, you know, how to change this world is to line up and shoot all major pharmaceutical companies, senior staff, CEOs, investors, line up and shoot all the people involved in the media on the highest level, and the reporters for being complicit. Line up and shoot all the politicians, and I do mean every last one of them. Line up and shoot the Masons from the 3rd degree on up. Line up and shoot all the major political activists from the gay and feminist movement. And this is just, you know, I can go on, you know. That's just really the tip of the iceberg. You know, I was going to give you a whole list of things, but, you know, it's going to take quite some time, you know. Then there's the military, there's certain, but when you go after the secret society, you'll take away some of these military guys in the first place, so. I think people truly underestimate how thoroughly integrated and how well defined this conspiracy is. They don't understand how many people are involved. You know, it's pretty much every street in America, there's somebody involved. And it may sound paranoid to say that, but do the math. You know, how many people are police officers, family of police officers, family of intelligence agencies, military, family of military, gang members, family of gang members, you know, secret societies, politicians and their family, political activists who are privy to a certain amount of what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, the list goes on and on. When you start adding up all these people who are responsible for social controls, a lot of these teachers, a lot of, you know, and then there's mental health. You know, mental health absolutely is part of what's going on. Absolutely. You know, I wouldn't say that everybody who's a quote-unquote mental health professional is in on it, but the vast majority of them, you know, more of them are in on it than not. Of course, the conspiracy is more insidious on the top level. The evil is top-heavy, but the evil is also ubiquitous. It's everywhere. It's well spread out. I don't think you people truly understand how many traitors we are talking about here. And I think one day you're going to truly, it's going to hit you that this conspiracy you're trying to expose is not so easy to expose without being part of the controlled opposition, because they're everywhere. You're not just looking at their enemies, you're looking at the controlled opposition. They're looking at you as competition. Like they're looking at you as, you know, they're competing with you for viewers. You know, they're like, who are you to speak on this? Leave it to us experts. Leave it to us people who have experience. You know, the bootlickers, people in secret societies, you know. They're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're going to hear a lot of, you don't know what you're talking about. You're going to hear a lot of, leave it to the experts. You're going to hear a lot of, you know, you're not doing so well by yourself. You should join our movement after they sabotage what you're trying to do. You're going to hear a lot of this type of stuff. I don't think you truly understand why, when all is said and done, we are looking at a Western conspiracy which every Western nation and Israel is a part of. And then, of course, there's South Africa. There's nations where white people have settled down, colonized, and populated to a certain degree. And of course, you know, in the other third world countries, there's bootlickers there too. But the major conspirators, the hardest places it is to expose conspiracy is where it is prevalent, where it is unavoidable. You throw your rock in the city, and it's gonna bounce off 10 conspirators. You know, you don't truly understand. And of course, they're gonna say I'm paranoid. After I just played all these clips in this video showing you the insiders, the Hollywood insiders saying exactly what I've been saying for years, they're gonna say I'm paranoid. You know, no matter how many people come out and say the exact same thing, that they're being sabotaged by a huge network of people, oh, they're paranoid. This is a mental disorder. And that's why mental health is so obnoxious. That's why mental health needs to be dismantled. It needs to be changed completely. You know, just you know, you can't put a Band-Aid on this. It needs massive overhauls. It needs a massive reformation. It needs to be destroyed and rebuilt. I don't think people understand why I came to the conclusion that I am not on the West side. I side with religious people. There's a war between conspirators and the truly religious. You know, how many atheist activists do you really see? The atheists are controlled opposition almost entirely. The only true opposition are the people who are the most offended by this, which are the religious fundamentalists, the Christians, the Muslims, any kind of church, you know, feminist watch church, gay watch church, any kind of Illuminati, Babylon watched church or Islamic movement or any other movement for that matter is not your friend. You know, you people are going to learn the hard way. The jihadists are the major opposition to the New World Order. They're the major opposition to Babylon's system. So when you look at who's serving God, it's like, you know, Jesus said you know them by their works. Christians are some of the most controlled opposition. They're some of the biggest sellouts. You know them by their works. Who's fighting back and who isn't? Christians are either controlled opposition or they're saying, you know, turn the other cheek, you know, don't rise up against your enemy, what have you. For the most part, you're going to see a small, very small percentage of Christians who say, you know, are more militant, you know, but I went too far because I have to include the time I put for the clips. So I hope you truly understand why my decision was a superior decision. Again, you know, I haven't all the way converted to Islam, but I'm on the verge of doing it, and I don't see any other way to truly be an enemy of the New World Order than being a jihadist. And think very hard as to why I say this. Very, very hard. Before you say, well, these people are pedophiles, they abuse women, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's all myths. It's all stupidity. No one respects women more than Muslims. Just like the same reason you put a cover on your car. Why? Because you respect it so much, because you care about it, and you don't want it to get fucking messed up. You don't want to get dirt on it. There you go. They don't want to get dirt on it. They cover up women because they don't want women to get dirt on their soul, and the people who look at them to get dirt on their soul either, because they respect them so much. And your people are out of touch because you don't understand that. Well, I'm way out of time. I'm probably going to have to cut this off, and hopefully I can include that, but thank you.
Like flies, and I'm still looking for a way to make us wise. I emphasize that I still hate it. And I'm a motherfucker that'll take your ass to the next level. And the best to the end. Better put it in the mix again. You better look around.
Of star whackers in Hollywood, how many people do you know personally who have died suddenly and mysteriously in the past 5 years? I have personally known 8 actors, all of whom I am being embezzled from by this monstrous ring of accountants, estate planners, and lawyers who are mercilessly slandering me and trying to kill my career, and I believe murder me in order to gain control of my...
In Liberty.
And do you understand how paranoid and delusional your client sounds?
We are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.